Most people think the future changes with noise, a crash, a crisis, a headline that shocks everyone at once. But real change doesn't arrive like that. It arrives quietly, slowly, almost politely. So quietly that by the time you notice it, your life is already moving in a different direction. Every morning looks normal. People wake up, commute, scroll their phones, go to work, pay bills. On the surface, nothing feels broken. But underneath this normal routine, the US economy is quietly reshaping what your future will actually look like. For decades, there was a clear economic promise. If you studied hard, worked honestly, and stayed consistent, life would slowly improve. One income could support a household. A home felt achievable. Retirement felt like a destination, not a question mark. That promise created confidence. People planned years ahead. They trusted the system because the rules didn't change often. Stability wasn't guaranteed, but it felt possible. Today, that sense of stability is fading. Not suddenly, gradually, so gradually that many people blame themselves instead of the system around them. Workers today are more productive than ever. Technology allows people to do more work in less time. Businesses generate more output with fewer resources. Efficiency has exploded. But here's the quiet shift. Almost no one talks about paychecks didn't grow with productivity. The value created by workers didn't flow back to them. It flowed upward. Companies became more profitable. Markets climbed higher. Executive compensation expanded. Meanwhile, average wages barely moved when adjusted for inflation. Effort stayed the same. Rewards changed. This shift didn't happen overnight. It happened slowly, policy by policy, decision by decision. And because it was slow, most people never noticed when the balance tipped. At the same time, the cost of living kept rising. Housing, healthcare, education, food, insurance, utilities, each one quietly demanded a bigger share of income. Even when salaries increased, purchasing power shrank. People earned more on paper but felt poorer in real life. Saving became harder. Planning became stressful. The future started to feel tighter. Housing shows this change clearly. Homeownership was once the foundation of middle-class security. It wasn't just shelter, it was stability, equity, a long-term safety net. Now, prices rise faster than incomes. Interest rates turn monthly payments into barriers. Many people save for years only to watch the goal move further away. Renting becomes permanent. Without ownership, wealth grows slower. And when wealth grows slower, the future becomes more fragile. One emergency suddenly feels dangerous. Education tells another quiet story. It was sold as the safest investment. Borrow now, earn later. Secure your future. But the economy changed the return on that promise. Degrees no longer guarantee opportunity. Student loans delay adulthood. Graduates start life already carrying financial weight. Instead of investing in the future, many spend their early years paying for the past. Education still matters, but its cost now carries real risk. Work itself has changed. Stability has been replaced with flexibility. Long-term jobs gave way to contracts, gigs, and short-term roles. On paper, flexibility sounds empowering. In reality, it shifts risk onto workers. Benefits disappear. Income becomes unpredictable. Long-term planning becomes difficult. When work feels temporary, the future feels uncertain. And uncertainty changes behavior. People delay families, delay investments, delay dreams. Inflation adds another silent pressure. It doesn't scare people overnight. It erodes value slowly, quietly, relentlessly. Savings lose strength year after year. Fixed incomes fall behind. Cash becomes weaker with time. Those who rely only on wages feel this deeply. Those who own assets often experience the opposite. Their wealth grows with inflation. This creates a divide most people feel but can't fully explain. The economy now rewards ownership more than effort. Assets grow faster than labor. Stocks, real estate, businesses, intellectual property. Hard work alone no longer guarantees progress. Position matters more than passion. Access matters more than effort. Debt fills the gap between income and survival. Credit cards, auto loans, student loans, buy now, pay later plans. These tools make life feel manageable in the short term. But they quietly trade tomorrow for today. Debt creates movement without freedom. People appear busy, productive, functioning, but their future options slowly shrink with every payment. Social pressure makes it worse. Online, success looks effortless. Luxury feels normal. Comparison becomes constant. People feel behind even when they're doing everything they were taught to do. That feeling creates stress, anxiety, burnout. Over time, motivation changes. When effort stops delivering results, people stop dreaming long-term. Survival replaces ambition. This shift isn't loud. It doesn't come with sirens or warnings. It comes with small compromises, delayed goals, adjusted expectations. The most important truth is this: your future isn't being changed by one event. It's being shaped daily by systems that reward different behaviors than before. The economy didn't collapse. It evolved quietly, and those who don't recognize that evolution risk building their lives on rules that no longer apply. What makes this shift even more dangerous is how quietly it changes behavior. People don't wake up one day and decide to lower their expectations. It happens slowly. First, they delay a goal. Then they compromise on a plan. Eventually, they stop believing certain things are possible at all. Many people blame themselves. They think they made the wrong choices, chose the wrong degree, or didn't work hard enough. But when millions of people feel stuck at the same time, the problem is no longer individual failure. It's the environment they're operating in. One of the biggest changes happened through financialization. The economy slowly shifted away from producing long-term value for everyday workers and toward maximizing short-term returns for investors. Companies that once focused on stability now focus on quarterly performance. Layoffs can boost stock prices. Cost-cutting is celebrated. Wages are treated as expenses to minimize, not investments to grow. Workers become numbers on a spreadsheet. When labor is constantly squeezed, the future built on steady income begins to collapse. At the same time, wealth and income began playing by different rules. Wages are taxed immediately and consistently. Wealth grows quietly through appreciation, deferrals, and favorable treatment. Over time, this creates compounding advantages. Those who own assets don't just earn more. Their money works for them while they sleep. Those who rely only on wages face a ceiling. This isn't about effort or intelligence. It's about structure. And most people were never taught how that structure really works. Another quiet change is the loss of safety nets. Previous generations relied on strong communities, unions, extended families, and long-term employers. These systems shared risk and soft financial shocks. Today, people are more isolated. They move frequently for work. Families live far apart. Community ties weaken. When something goes wrong, there's no backup. Every problem becomes personal and expensive. Technology adds another layer. Automation, artificial intelligence, and global competition constantly reshape the job market. Skills become outdated faster. Workers are expected to adapt endlessly just to stay relevant. The promise was freedom and efficiency. The reality for many is exhaustion. The pressure to always learn, always hustle, always adjust never ends. When the finish line keeps moving, people burn out. Financial education never kept up with these changes. Most people were taught how to earn money, not how money behaves. Inflation, compounding, leverage, and asset ownership were never explained clearly. As a result, people follow advice designed for a different era. Save everything in cash, work one job forever, avoid all risks. Meanwhile, inflation quietly erodes savings and rewards those who understand leverage and assets. Success itself has been redefined in unhealthy ways. Stability used to mean security and peace of mind. Now success is measured by appearance. Bigger homes, better cars, online validation. This pushes people to overspend and overextend themselves. The pressure to look successful replaces the goal of actually being secure. The future becomes fragile behind a polished image. Policy struggles to keep up with reality. Many systems are built on outdated assumptions about wages, housing costs, and job stability. Help exists, but it's often difficult to access or disconnect it from real life. People fall through the cracks not because they don't work hard, but because the system no longer fits how people live and work today. The emotional cost of all this is enormous. Chronic financial stress affects mental health, relationships, and physical well-being. People feel trapped. Decisions feel heavy. Every choice feels risky. Major life milestones are delayed. Marriage, children, home ownership, entrepreneurship. Not because people don't want these things, but because the future feels unstable. This creates ripple effects across society. Lower birth rates, slower growth, rising frustration. When people lose confidence in the future, everything slows down. Yet, there's a hard truth hidden in this breakdown. The old version of success was built for a different economy. Trying to recreate it using the same strategies leads to disappointment. The rules changed, but the instructions didn't. People are still chasing an outdated blueprint in a system that rewards entirely different behaviors. Those who begin to see this clearly stop blaming themselves. They stop chasing the past. They focus on understanding how the system actually works. Now, they think differently about income, about skills, about ownership, about leverage. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. The future no longer rewards blind loyalty or passive waiting. It rewards awareness, adaptability, and intentional decisions. This doesn't guarantee success, but it restores control. The American economy isn't collapsing. It's transforming quietly. And transformation always creates winners and losers based on who adapts. The real danger isn't change. The real danger is denial. Being told everything is fine while struggling in silence. Being told to just work harder in a system that no longer rewards effort the same way. Honest understanding is the first step forward. Seeing the system clearly changes how people move within it. It replaces shame with strategy. The future isn't predetermined, but it is being shaped right now, every day, by policies, incentives, and structures most people never see. Those who recognize the shift early gain options. Those who ignore it feel trapped. Not because they failed, but because they were never told the truth. The economy may be quietly changing your future, but awareness gives you something powerful. Choice, and in a system built on incentives, choice is where control begins.